as I will go back, if you look at the presentation that we have at the bottom of the screen, you would see the marketplace that we had before the 5 years ago. That was built by Mr. Theo Heiliger. And after Hurricane Irma, this marketplace was torn down. And we were left in a situation where we were supposed to be removed from there. I came to Parliament, and I addressed at Parliament, and we were returned back there with an understanding and with a promise that the marketplace will be replaced. We are 5 years now away from where we was before. Look at the state of what we are still in 5 years after. Mr. Chairman, on the market we have overgrown trees, very much big overgrown trees, as you would see, that is covering even the tents that we are under. And these overgrown trees are badly kept. They are filled with iguanas that are peeing and pooing all over the place. Even when the tourists are in the market, I remember one day a tourist came at my stall to purchase some stuff, and while she was there, iguanas are animals, and that's what they will be. They don't know any difference, and he came on the branch, and he did what he had to do. And it fell on the tent, and it fell right in front of the tourist. And she was like, oh, you guys have poo here. And the smell of it is not something nice. It's very, very stinks. And these trees has never been pruned. They have never been cut. They have never been taken care of. And our tents are under these trees. And we feel in danger with our tents. The reason why, Mr. Chairman, these tents that we bought here, a couple of times we were approached and said, the National Alliance government bought these tents for you. I said, no, they didn't. They said, yes, the government bought. I said, no. Every vendor that is here went and purchased our tents. And these tents, Mr. Chairman, we bought them for $200 at the time back then. Right now, they're $300 plus for these tents. And with these overgrown trees, when the wind blow, a couple of months ago, we had a tropical storm that passed, Felipe. You know, we call him the drunken tropical storm because he didn't know what he was actually doing. He was up, down, sideways. And one of the branches from these trees fell. And it was just inch away from one of our tents from breaking it. And these tents are they're not concrete, so they're not strong. Any branch from these trees will actually destroy our tent in 1 minute. So we are asking, Mr. Chairman, for the Minister of TIAT to please get some guys in. We would like these trees to be cut and pruned and be properly taken care of and look nice because it's a marketplace. So we would like it to look nice and try and see how much we can get rid of some of these animals that make these trees their residence because of the overgrown that they are. And I mean, once they're there, I'm looking for a home, so I'm going to take it up as my residence. Mr. Chairman, the next agenda I would like to speak about is the sign for the marketplace. Before Hurricane Irma came, there were 2 signs that were erected. One was erected by the courthouse, and one was erected on the boardwalk. And these signs gave the visitors and the tourists the indication that the marketplace is behind the courthouse. So there is a marketplace that exists on St. Martin. And even though you might not see us on the boardwalk or you might not see us on the front street, we are there and we are located behind the courthouse. Now these signs was broken down or destroyed when Hurricane Irma passed, which we know a lot of stuff was destroyed. On numerous occasions, I have spoke about these signs. I have spoke to the Minister of TIAT about re-erecting back these signs to let the visitors, the tourists know that we're there. It still has not happened. So we are asking you, Mr. Chairman, to the minister, to please, if he can get in touch with Mr. Martin Wilson, because he was the first one that erected these signs for us. He works for the Minister of Tiat. So these signs can be replaced back so the visitors who comes, because Mr. Chairman, when the tourist comes off the tender, the first thing they see is the boardwalk. And the boardwalk is an attraction. Why? Because of the sea. They want to hang out in the sun. They want to lay back, get their suntan, and go. So they would not know that there is a marketplace behind there. It's just a few tourists that will venture and walk looking around, and they will see the tents, and they will walk towards it, and then they will know that there is a marketplace there.
Primarily in these types of weeks, matters, especially urgent matters of Parliament, will be dealt with. With much anticipation, we looked forward to a meeting that was scheduled yesterday as a continuation of a meeting regarding GEBE. Yesterday, we and the public of St. Martin received a postponement of this meeting, while in the convocation it was stated that this meeting was confirmed by the Prime Minister of St. Martin. The continuation of the GB meeting on Monday was, according to what we received, confirmed by the Prime Minister. Her attendance to that meeting to provide answers to the many questions posed was confirmed. Was received. The confirmation was received. Then we received a letter yesterday on behalf of the President of Parliament that this meeting is postponed until further notice. No explanation, no date when these answers will be provided. Nevertheless, we see where government ministers are busy, as they call it, canvassing. Maybe, just maybe, consideration should be given to having a recess for campaign like they do in the Netherlands. Maybe, just maybe. Because really the way that we're going, where meetings of Parliament on issues such as GB are concerned, we're not going to be getting out of it. If the government and those in Parliament are considering such a recess, at least let's make sure that matters like the budget, the amended budget 2023, is put to Parliament before such is taken into consideration. Tomorrow, according to the schedule of Parliament, we have the National Health Insurance. There too, it is stated that the minister will come back tomorrow, Wednesday, to provide answers to questions asked by members of Parliament on this all-important matter of the National Health Insurance. So to the President of Parliament, my question is, do we have the assurance of the Minister of VSA that he will be in Parliament tomorrow to answer the questions regarding the National Health Insurance? Mr. Chairman, for the last, 3, 4, if not more weeks, I have a request pending for a question hour. I have asked about it at least 3 times. I have asked the President of Parliament, and every time the answer has been, I'll discuss it in presidium. Is the Minister of Tiat refusing to come to a question hour of Parliament to provide answers to questions that are in Parliament and live out there regarding public transportation? When we talk in public transportation, let me explain what we're talking about. Taxi, bus, tours, groups, etc., etc. So my question is, has the minister refused to attend a question hour of Parliament? Mr. Chairman, we're still awaiting the indexation of the pensions of the people of St. Martin that should have gone into effect January 2023. 2023. We hear nothing. We hear nothing. Parliament receives no update after passing the law. Now a decree needed to be done by the government of St. Martin. No longer Parliament, the government of St. Martin. Where is that decree? Where is it? Mr. Chairman. Yet we are expected to kindly take note of what the meetings that the Presidium and the President of Parliament decide to schedule, and then at last moment, the ones that we are waiting are cancelled, and we come back in here. And we come back in here and hear what the Presidium is going to tell us, which ones are going to cancel. We walk in here with our fingers crossed. With our fingers crossed. You know who was supposed to be sitting here with the representatives of the Phillipsburg Marketplace? The ministers. The ministers to provide the answers. The whole year, starting in January, reports, statements, press releases about the Phillipsburg Marketplace have been read.
The first point you asked about GB, about the meeting of yesterday, a response was received from the Cabinet of Prime Minister, Minister of General Affairs, on Friday itself that she can't make it, but somehow the communication did not reach Parliament, and a second email showed up the proof. That's why we had to honor that. VSA Minister Omar Otley has confirmed for tomorrow, and the TIAP Minister wants to be here to answer all the practical questions that has been posed. He himself wants, he has sent his travel schedule. The moment he is back on the island, he will be, the first Monday coming, he'll be in Parliament to answer the question hours.
Are you SXM insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXM is cardless. Request your My SXM account today and enter the virtual office of SXM. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
SXM, yeah, your social health insurances.
St. Martin, the Department of Community Development, Family and Humanitarian Affairs proudly presents its second Things I Wish My Father Taught Me, a series of meaningful conversations in commemoration of International Men's Day on November 19th. The weekly podcast features several inspirational figures and moderated by Mr. Rishinal Arundel. The topics and guest speakers include mental health featuring Mr. Sharensly Valise and Mr. Star Peterson, lifelong learning with Mr. Jamal Newton and Mr. Marvio Cooks, Gilders and Sense with Mr. Jude Houston and Mr. Etzel Gums, and relationships featuring Mr. Alston Lawrence. Things I Wish My Father Taught Me offers a mix of critical reflections and entertainment. Join us every Sunday in November at 8 p.m. via the Facebook pages of the Government of St. Martin and Community Development, Family and Humanitarian Affairs, Tel TV 15, SXM TV Broadcast, TV Carib, and St. Martin Gov Radio 107.9. During the hurricane season, a potential tropical cyclone can produce rainfall that can cause flash flooding and rockfalls. Stay away from flood-prone areas during heavy rainfall, such as Jump Up Casino on Emil Plain Road in Phillipsburg, ATLH Road Roundabout, L.B. Scott Road from Emilio Wilson Park until Cake House Supermarket, Zaker's Gut from Petro Plus Gas Station until the Seventh-day Adventist Church, Welkalaken Road K Hill from Welkalaken Road Roundabout until the One-Tete Loke Roundabout, Beacon Hill Road from Sunset Bar and Grill until the beginning of White Sands Road, and Rhine Road, also known as Mullet Bay Road, after Sonesto Maho Beach Hotel to the entrance of Cooper Coy from the intersection of the University Drive until the intersection of Rio Grande. For more information on how you can keep yourself and your family safe this hurricane season, visit stmartingov.org/hurricane. This public service announcement is brought to you by the Government of St. Martin.
the airport is on the radar. And too often, anytime I speak of the airport, some people say, oh God, he at him again. I mean, even the CEO want to know why I vex with him. I'm not vexed with you, sir. You're a young boy trying to do something. Unfortunately, you're in a job that you don't belong. That's my position. It ain't gonna change because you have not proven me wrong. The day you prove me wrong, I will publicly apologize to you on my talk show. But you can't prove me wrong because you know what you're doing is wrong. Now, there's a VIP service at the airport. There were 2 or 3 VIP services. I think one of them was a bunch of local guys. They sold to Signature. I think Harley Aviation had one, I believe. And I think there was another one. Oh, Mr. Wyatt. But he's a small one. Now, for years, these people are doing this. Now, suddenly, they have to apply a request for proposal and this and this and this. And my question is it really that you're going to give it to them with a request for proposal, or is it that the airport wants to do it? And the airport start to create another stream of money. Because you see, when the airport start these type of things, government got to wake up, and government has to say, you know what? Man, people, listen to us carefully. These are concessions that we gave you. And these are the concessions that you need to pass on. Because we also have a different way of dealing with all the departure taxes that right now the airport is filling their pockets with and paying off bad debts. Because that's what the airport got, a whole load of bad debts with this expansion. So every minute you see the increasing the departure fee is because they need money to pay. That's all it is. Otherwise you wouldn't raise it and put the country in a more difficult position when it's a hub. So again, y'all gotta be careful with the way you're doing things. Because you can fool this Jacko minister here because he has absolutely no clue what you're all talking about. Though, you know, when you have a minister that has no clue what's happening around him, yes, then the airport is going to run the way the airport is running. Then the marketplace is going to be what it is. That's the reality. But the airport management knows better. They know what they are doing is wrong. This airport management has sent home, I think, 10, 15 people thus far. All locals. All locals. Pick up people that were a failure in TLM and bring them over there as the new commercial director. While they had hired one, I asked questions about it. Oh, he was Michelin this and he was in all these restaurants. After 2 months, he told the Jacko down there, I am not a kindergarten teacher. I gone. So they take back the local and put the local there again as acting. And now they bring in the foreigner again. Yes, he Dutch. Yes, he went to school in Amsterdam. But don't tell me that we have nobody capable of doing this. I humbly disagree. Why couldn't you put the acting director there and send her to school like how the Prime Minister said, go get some damn Coursera courses, if that's what it needs to be. But no, let's keep our locals down, step on them like a piece of, you know what, and we're going to put he there, because with he, we're going to be able to make some more good deals again. Tell you something, the day the now government is formed is the day the investigation will start at the airport. And I will peel and peel until we find it. Because it's there. You see, the CEO believes that he can do what he wants, when he wants, and how he wants. Well, let me tell you something. I am not Sylvia Jacobs. I was never afraid of Knops. And I'm not afraid of any damn Dutch parliamentarian or minister. What's good for this country is what Claudius Bonkamper stands for. And you, Mr. Mingo, you're not good for this country. Maybe you came with the right intentions at the airport. Maybe. But what you are doing down there right now is downright shameful. And the coward act of the Prime Minister in the court on Thursday, Friday last, stating that she is not responsible for what her ministers do. That's crazy, because that minister is the one that said she speaks on behalf of the Council of Ministers in the GB case. She distanced herself in the beginning from the airport because of the investigation. But that investigation has nothing to do with what you're doing. Absolutely nothing. So don't worry. The attention you need, you will get very soon. You'll get it very, very soon.
And I was the one who proposed to the minister, and I am expecting to hear his reaction to this proposal. And that proposal was that right now, the current SZV law that stipulates that the insurance applies to workers, but there's also a clause in the law that states that by a national decree, other categories can be added as employees. So my proposal was to the minister, include taxi, bus vendors, and sole proprietors, include them in a decree that they then get the same status, such as the worker, which is now covered in the law. That was my proposal to the minister. And again, I expect to hear his reaction to that proposal, because that's not a change to the law yet. That is a decree that can be issued by the Council of Ministers. And because of that trajectory, which is a shorter trajectory than a complete change to the law, I suggested to the minister to do that, and I expect to hear from him on it tomorrow, what the possibility is for that to be done, and to be done post haste.
Your social and health insurance is your social and health insurance.
Are you SXV insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXV is cardless. Request your My SXV account today and enter the virtual office of SXV. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
Your social and health insurance.
It's hurricane season. Are you prepared? Here are a few tips to keep in mind to help keep you and your family safe. The Atlantic hurricane season runs from June 1st to November 30th, with the peak occurring between mid-August and late October. This hurricane season, be sure to put together a go bag. A disaster supply kit including a flashlight, batteries, cash, first aid and supplies, medications, and copies of your critical information if you need to evacuate. This public service announcement was brought to you by the government of St. Martin.
St. Martin is my home, and I do but anything to make it known. Think of it.
GPN keep you informed. I'm Michelle Jones, and in the news, 2 9-year-old boys killed after gunmen shoot up taxi in St. James. Three people, including 2 9-year-old boys, were killed after the taxi they were traveling in was shot up by gunmen in the Flower Hill community in St. James this evening. They were among 5 people in the vehicle, 3 of them en route from school, when the incident occurred near Megatop at about 6 p.m. According to police reports, the man died on the spot, while the boys, both students of Chetwood Memorial Primary School, were pronounced dead at the Cornwall Regional Hospital. In the last 2 weeks, 5 people have been killed in the area due to gang violence.
There shall be a new corporation tax rate of 9%, subject to the following regimes. 1. A company whose gross income is currently below $2 million and which is now registered as a small business under the Small Business Development Act, Chapter 318C, shall be subject to a corporation tax rate of 5.5%. 2. The corporation tax rate that is currently applicable to the insurance business sector of 0% for Class 1 businesses and 2% for Class 2 businesses shall remain. The Barbados Revenue Authority shall be responsible for the administration of the qualified domestic minimum top-up tax. More specifically, this shall relate to the calculation of the tax base, control, determination, collection, as well as the recovery of the top-up tax. I should advise you, Mr. Speaker, that in accordance with international best practice, the government will introduce a requirement for smoother cash flow to facilitate its fiscal circumstances as follows. Accordingly, effective the 1st of January 2024, in-scope globe companies will be required to prepay corporation tax on a monthly basis, sir, from income year 2024.